Oh, my knees hurt. Jenny. Very nice. Hey, how you doing today? Trying to warm her up a little bit. Have a beautiful Martin guitar here. As the title explains, it is a DRS1. Very hard to play for me. Very heavy strings. Sounds beautiful. It's got some really old strings on it. So we'll remedy that today. Hopefully everybody's doing great. Had a really wonderful holiday. I did. Had a great day at work yesterday. Got a lot done. Ordered parts for an amp that we are currently commissioned to build for a client of ours here at the shop. I'm going to say hello. Hey, Rody, hello. Richard, hello. Certain guitar music. Okay. Cool. Hopefully everybody had a really great holiday. I don't generally celebrate holidays just because it's my choice. Although that's my choice in that. But we had a lot of really wonderful costumes show up yesterday. It's a great one for the kids. It seemed like they were just having a blast. We have a big event down here in downtown where I work. And they do downtown Main Street for all the kids, and we had tons of kids popping in and getting loads of candy. We actually had candy bars and all that. What do we got?
Got a couple of instruments from Baker
Oh
High
my
School.
goodness.
That looks like an Ibanez case.
Oh, yeah. I'm the man.
You're the man. All right.
How we doing? Give me a moment. So what do we got going here?
So I got the music teacher's dad, so
Okay.
he's got the Iceman input jack on there, and we've got the input jack inside of in the case, and then this little telly.
Which pickup doesn't work? Lots of
So
feedback.
whatever you can do to fix those.
Okay.
And then he said this needs recorded. Do that.
Oh,
Little
yes.
saxophone.
We have a guy, I don't know if we can do that here in shop, but we do have a guy that we sub this stuff out to.
Okay.
He's fantastic.
Awesome.
Yeah. So I'll get a hold of him immediately for you.
Okay.
Let me get your, actually, let me do this. We'll just put this on here. Let me get some contact info. And right now I'm currently doing a live stream on YouTube. So people are watching from all over the world.
Oh, yes.
So if you want to say hi to 50,000 people,
Hey.
you can certainly say hello.
Hey, the Grand Oregon.
Yeah.
This guy
Welcome.
knows his stuff.
This gentleman brought in a couple of instruments for son.
Yeah, music teacher at Baker High School.
Okay, so the music teacher at Baker High School's got a couple guitars and an Iceman. I can't wait to see it. And it looks like a telly. So we'll get going on those ASAP. Let me have you, if you wouldn't mind, just name and phone number on there.
Okay.
And boy, I got a lot of little notes all over the place today. So more work coming in. I love it. That's really cool.
Yeah.
And if you could,
This is me.
that's you. Okay. Perfect.
And since I work in the Grand,
You do? Okay. Okay, perfect.
and I can just, whenever they're ready.
I'll call you as soon as they are. I've got this one right now, and I've got one other that I've got to get to before I'm going to be able to get to his, but I don't expect it to take more than a couple days,
That's fine.
barring any oddness or anything major. And I will call you if I find something totally
Okay.
wacky.
that's-
Okay. All right. That's great.
Yeah.
Okay.
Awesome.
And your name again?
I'm Anthony.
Anthony Marshall.
Marshall.
Pleasure to meet
Nice
you.
to meet you, Marshall.
Do you go by Anthony or
I
Tony?
go by Anthony.
Anthony.
Yeah,
Okay.
Not confused with Tom.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wonderful.
Yeah. And awesome. Love music. So
Oh, do you play?
I'm learning. I'm learning to play bass. I just
Ah.
started a couple of years ago, and I'm getting into it, getting good calluses now.
Nice.
Yeah.
Well, you'll have a job forever. The world needs more bass players.
Yeah.
We guitar players are a dime a dozen.
Guitar players are everywhere, but you know what? It's still one of the best instruments ever. So
Oh, yeah. You'll never. It's an unending learning process.
I got a
It'll
theremin-
never end.
I got a theremin, and
Oh,
that's a fun little
the.
little mode. And
I've only ever played one of those one time, and it was a brief moment. But boy, they were cool. And he had a delay pedal on it, so it got
Yeah.
all that wacky feedback
it
and
gets-
stuff going
I'll
on.
run my bass pedal through there just for shits and giggles, push it through the
Yeah.
amp, and
Yep. Make them sound mean.
yeah, it's a lot of fun.
I
Awesome.
cannot wait to take a look at those. Icemen are.
Oh, yeah, he got lucky. He found this on Craigslist about 3 years ago.
Yeah.
It just popped up. Dude wanted $300. It was probably all beat up.
Yeah.
Perfect.
They're in perfect
hardly
shape.
touched. And we
Well,
shot straight down to Boise, and it was like, boom, make it.
Well, I'll give them both a good full check over and check the string action and all that stuff. And if I have any questions or suggestions of adjustments that I might see in them, I'll call and consult
Here,
with
and I'm
you.
going to give you his number because he's the one that knows these things. He
Yeah.
fixes my truss rods and stuff in my
Okay.
bass because I let them get cold and hot, cold and hot.
Yep. And they're pieces of wood, man. They'll move on you.
Yep. Just double check. That's Dylan.
That's Dylan. Okay. Perfect. All right. That sounds great.
Awesome. Yeah, he's we've been in here a couple of times. I don't think we've met you, but he's like, yeah, that guy in Baker or the Grand, he's like the best.
Oh. Wow. Who did he talk to? Was it Larry? Larry Robb?
I'm not sure who he talked to.
I'm always curious about who might be referring my.
I'll ask him.
Okay.
Yeah.
I've worked for a lot of folks from Baker, and certainly in LeGrand and the surrounding areas. So that seems like I don't know of anyone else really that's doing it. And
No, not really. And this is his first real year. Started during messed up COVID years, but this is the first real year that they're getting a lot of students in band now.
Okay.
They do a rock band thing to it.
Oh.
They do a modern 2 and a modern 1, and they play rock music, and the kids, some of the old parts,
Yeah.
kids love it.
Yeah, that was me in high school. I had a private guitar instructor when I was in school, back when the arts were important, and I was able to take private lessons 5 days a week, my junior, senior, and my sophomore, junior, and senior years, which today that's unheard of.
Right.
So, and I was taking private guitar lessons, so a testament to what's happened with our world of music, and so that's.
He's bringing it back.
I cannot wait to talk to him.
Yeah,
Because
might have to.
see what he's up to on that.
Yeah, definitely.
Oh, and I need to get a note on this, so we'll get that taken care of.
Perfect, man.
I'll get that over to Deerfoot immediately. Okay,
Sounds
I'll
good.
call him right away.
Sounds awesome, dude. I'll see you in a few days.
Yeah.
I don't think this later this week or next week. Either's fine.
Yeah, I'll get them done. They'll be done this week for certain.
Okay.
No question. I
No
mean,
problem.
unless we need to order parts or something for one of them, which I doubt.
Yeah.
So that would be
You
the
never
only
know.
holdup. So
All right. Well,
okay.
sweet. Thanks, man. It was
Yeah.
great meeting you, and I'll see you again, and I'm sure we'll be bringing more out.
Yeah, we'll talk soon, Anthony.
That
All
sounds
right.
good. All right. Take care.
Have a great day. Have a fun day at work, brother.
Go try.
All right. Cool, cool, cool. Let me say hi to everybody. Rody, my knees hurt. Oh boy, bass is right on. Okay, sorry about that, guys. And I have a saxophone stem that I need to get repaired and recorked. We have a guy that works with us here at the shop. He owns a business called Deerfoot Music, and he repairs wind instruments, and he is an expert at that sort of stuff. So really looking forward to getting a hold of him. So that'll be fun. And now I have an Iceman to work out. We'll probably take a look at that before the end of this video. So let's take a look at this Martin DRS1. We are looking at string action here. Hello. Need some more speakers?
Well, you probably need those.
Oh, okay.
But there's a penalty.
There's a penalty.
Oh, yeah.
All right.
Every time we give you something you don't need,
We've got really tall string action on this
I
guitar.
packaged them all back up. I just haven't brought them back.
I thought I was being funny.
Oh yeah.
Did those speakers work for you yesterday?
The ones in my office were great, but the ones out in the shop, they didn't work because they're Bluetooth.
Oh.
I think the only way they work is Bluetooth.
Or you have to hook them in sync.
Oh.
Something weird. It is weird.
Well, if you
That-
got power to it, well, maybe, I don't know, maybe I'd try it that way. I didn't try
No,
it.
this will be-
Okay.
This is the right thing.
Okay.
So we're likely on this guitar going to have to take a little bit of material off of the saddle, and we can take a look at the truss rod. Just kind of doing my initial type inspections. This is a 11 thousandths feeler gauge, and what we'll do is we'll take a look at the string action here and see that it's not quite double 11 thousandths, but it's awful darn close. So we need to turn the truss rod, and Martin, in their infinite wisdom, the truss rod is way up in here, so these can be a little bit hard to get at unless you know what you're doing. So we're going to do that, and I can see that the strings are very, very old and definitely worn, and they're almost worn flat. The lady that owns this instrument, just a couple of details about the player. She is a praise and worship on a praise and worship team. She doesn't play a ton of guitar, but she's a very fluent guitar player. A lot like many of us in the online communities that broadcast music and guys that record. So she leads praise and worship, a lot of cowboy chord type stuff. And we want to make this easy for her to play. So I did check the string gauge. These are 13 gauge strings. We're going to reduce those down to 11s, which is going to let the neck relax a little bit. The string tension won't be quite so much. So let's get started on all that right now. You can watch me go through this whole process of getting strings off and on the guitar. So I want to start with a fresh set of strings. That means I'm going to have to loosen and tighten them a few times, and I may end up using 2 sets of strings to get this one set up correctly, given all the loosening and tightening that we'll do on this instrument. And the string action here at the 12th fret was, with these 13 gauge strings and the neck relief the way it was, string action here on the low E was about 7.5 64ths. And on the treble E, it was about 5 64ths, which that's common for Martin guitars to have that type of setup from the factory, although the neck relief was it had way too much underbow. So we will address that. And I can see that these strings have been put on with a bit of a knot, so I'll have to wrestle getting those off of this thing. As we all know, never tie a knot in your strings. Not a smart thing to do. If you break one, you'll have a hell of a time getting it off at the gig. That's my point. Although I did play a lot of live music, and a lot of guys don't play live, so you don't fully understand the intensity that happens when you break a string at a gig and you only have one guitar with you and you've got to get a new string on it. It can be, tying a knot up there at the headstock can be a real nightmare. Let's see. Yeah, it's a string unwinder winder, plus a pin puller, plus they break quite often. And if you go to a gig, make sure you have a pair of these and a pair of these with you. They're very helpful tools for situations just like this, when the string has been bent over the machine head and basically tied in a knot. It's a complete waste of time and effort, in my humble opinion, but we can argue about that some other time. Let's see. So these are coming off not too bad, actually. So these aren't being too much of a pain in the neck. There we go. So not a big deal. Whoever put these on did a kind job of not making them too difficult. But again, at a dark club where you can't see and you don't have a pair of these, because no guitar player would take a pair of those with them to a gig, right? You would be in a mess. Let's see, Richard. Oh, I'm not ranting. I'm just pointing out some obvious facts. There's never, ever any need to tie a string in a knot on the machine head. Ever. It's a complete waste of time and effort on your part. I'm going to give this neck a good wipe down. We're going to use some polishing compound here and see what I can do about maybe cleaning up these frets a little bit. This appears to be a composite fingerboard, so we'll just give it a good wipe down with some good old-fashioned number 65 Dunlop polish. And I really should look this guitar up and see if it does have a composite fingerboard and or if it has a ebony fingerboard, because if it's ebony, I can't really tell. It's a really nice piece of wood. Let's see, Brad. Hey, Brad, what's happening, brother? Oh, God. Yeah. Oh, thanks, Brad. Yeah, I played, okay, just for the record, I played horribly at that show. I had so much stuff going on at that gig to do the live stream. I was the house sound engineer, the monitor engineer, the live stream sound engineer, the live stream host, the guitar player. I was doing 10,000 things all at the same time, and it was way too much to take on to be playing live. Next time it should go a little bit easier because I got the setup system all down for the setup. So if you did watch that, I apologize. I did not play very well, and I know that. Oh, thank you. That's very kind of you. Oh, yeah. Oh, thanks, Rhodey. You doing all right?
I'm doing good.
Okay.
How are you doing, sir?
I'm doing great. Fixing a guitar. Fixing another one.
Still got that black face down.
Still have it? I'd love to see that thing.
Again?
Again? Did I fix that one for you?
Yeah, you had to order tubes.
Oh, boy, that's been a while back, hasn't it?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. I try and keep up on everything I've ever worked on, but that's a tough rope to tow, man.
Oh, yeah. It took 2 weeks to find the tube.
Yeah. Yeah. How long ago was that we did that for you?
I think maybe a year, maybe 2. I don't know.
Yeah. Tubes started getting a little bit more difficult to find, I think, at that time. That was the deal with that one. Huh. Cool. All right. So we've gotten that all cleaned up. Fingerboard looks great. I'm going to check this. Oh, good for you, Brad. I'm sorry I'll miss it. And just for the record, I don't attend Hippie's show because of what he did to Mark Tanner, my good buddy. He was completely, his motto of don't be a dick, everybody's bound to that rule except for him. And if you could watch the video of what he did to Mark, you would understand why I don't participate. I mean, I don't know. just won't participate anymore, and that's the reason why nobody sees me or Mark or Tim or anybody else in that group of guys anymore. Yeah, I'll try and tune in to catch you, Brad. I don't participate in the show. I do watch from time to time, and I don't like listening to music in mono, but it sounds like he solved that problem after Mark and I helped him solve it 3 years ago. Yeah. Yeah, Mark is yeah, and you know, I mean, I wish Jeff the best. He's definitely has helped a lot of people get some exposure. That's, you know, great for him. So that's all we're going to say about that today. And there you go. Yeah, I'll try and find a link and send that to you. You can see what he did to Mark live at a live stream while Mark was helping him. This is brutal. I'll find it. He probably deleted it by now. Alright, let's get some strings on this. Oh wait, I need to check DRS1. Does it have a let's see, Martin DRS1 specs. I'm going to look up the specs on this to see if this has a composite or an ebony fingerboard. If I can find it. Road Series. No longer available. Do they have specifications? Solid, Sapil body, modified low, Morris tenon neck, rich light fingerboard. So this does have a composite fingerboard and bridge, so we won't need to treat this with linseed oil, which is great. We'll just polish it with some fret polish or some guitar polish. What's that?
12 string or 6 string?
This is 6 string. Yeah. All right, got that all cleaned up. Let's get some strings on her. This is the process we go through. Here we go. And I'm using a set of 11 to 52 gauge acoustic strings on this Ernie ball, and we'll take care of these end pins to get them to take the strings correctly. So we'll file off a little angle at this end. So that the ball end of the string gets pushed off to the side like it's supposed to. The string doesn't end up at the end of the end pin, not at the bottom of the top of the guitar. Are you confused yet? All right. Should be able to ring this thing up pretty quickly. As the moment I get these strings on here, I'm going to use my string unwinder to wind the string up on here. Is that E? Let's check. Ah, it's F sharp. Oh well. We'll stretch it. There we go. It sounds nice. And this guitar, the construction of this guitar is a solid mahogany top, and then it's basically laminated back and sides. on this. It's a bit more affordable instrument from the Martin company, so not solid woods all the way around. Beautiful guitar. I can tell this thing's going to really have a nice voice. I love mahogany guitars. They have a really nice compressed sound. For recording, you throw a mic in front of one of these and they just sound fantastic. This one also has electronics, which, by the way, that reminds me, before I get these strings on here, I'm going to let you take a look inside here of another thing that I need to take care of before I get all of the strings on it. And I'm sorry if you're getting dizzy with all the panning around. You notice the wires hanging loose in here? All these wires hanging loose, and there's a wire bracket. Now let me get a flashlight out here. Where did she go? Here she is. Get some light in here. You'll notice the bracket right there. That has come loose from the top of the guitar. It was glued to the top of the guitar someplace over here near the edge of the bridge, I believe, or the yeah, the bridge. So we'll get that reattached. Take a look at what's going on here, and yeah, it's double-sided sticky tape that has just, darn it, come loose. Let me see. Yeah, so what I'm going to do with this is use a small amount of CA glue on there to get that to stick to the side of the guitar again, and it reaches clear over here to the side, so that's where we're going to fasten it. So, you know, let me try and get you here where you see what I'm up to. Try and keep my hands out of the film here. There we go. Not a ton, just enough. Couple of dots on there. We don't want this ever coming loose because these pickups just don't fail. But double-sided sticky tape does fail. Alright. I'm going to hold that. I'm going to have to hold on to that for a few seconds. Let the glue do its job. Super glue always takes forever to dry when you want it to dry quickly. Let's see, Rody, yeah. Yeah, Rody, that's what's up. Yeah. All right. I know this is really terribly exciting, isn't it? Watching me hold on to this piece of tape. Gotta do it. Want to make sure that this thing stays put. I'm gonna hold on to it for about another 30 seconds to a minute, so just be patient. We'll get going on the actual work. Now, I do know that the truss rod needs to be tightened, so I am going to give it a small turn before I put all of the strings on the instrument, and you'll kind of see why I'm going to do that now versus later. Yeah, I actually do like the composite materials that they're making these fingerboards out of, and bridges. It really feels nice. Definitely lasts forever. It's a composite material, of course. This guitar has the volume and tone controls right here. She said the electronics in it work great. Okay, so here we go with the truss rod adjustment, and this is why I'm going to do this right now before I get all the strings on here. This is a 5mm hex key, and instead of just being able to put the hex key in like this and have some leverage on the wrench, you actually have to put it in. They make special tools. Obviously, they make bent hex keys that are really long that'll do this, but in order to adjust this truss rod, I have to put that all the way in there and then get it to, there it goes. Now it's bottomed out in there. Now take my little crescent wrench here and give it a spin. I need to tighten this, and I'm going to move it just a bit further than that. Doesn't take much usually on a truss rod adjustment, but as you can see, if I had all the strings on here, this would be a nightmare. Am I wrong? There we go. I'm going to loosen these strings that I've already got on here up a little bit so I can get them out of the way. I don't like letting my Allen key make contact with the strings. It'll mar them up. You want to be careful and not let your tools touch the strings too terribly much. Keep the and this thing had a lot of relief, so we're going to go with that. Alright, let's get the rest of these strings on here. And we will get our pins. Here's this one. Getting a little ahead of myself here. There we go. Again, we're getting the ends of these pegs shaved off at an angle so that the string ends up in the right position versus being stuck on the end of this pin. If they're flat at the bottom, they will not do their job correctly. Had a great meeting with Mark Tanner and Justin Mai last night about some live streaming. Ooh, that's out of tune. Yeah, that's out of tune. All right. Really fun. We've got some cool stuff coming up. I think Justin and I are going to do a live stream before too much longer on some of our music productions, so that should be cool. He's going to retrack some guitars, and we're going to try and do that together. Not live. Nobody can play live on the internet. I mean, together in different locations. It's impossible. Well, you know, I'll take that back. It is possible if you don't care if your timing is okay, but if timing is important, then you just cannot do it. I think we've all tried that at some point, right? Andy! Oh, thanks, Andy, man. I'm glad you were able to be there. You know, one of the really cool things about that gig and doing that live stream was that our vocalist, Scott, his mom was able to watch from home. She wasn't able to be at the gig for reasons that are beyond our control. And so it's funny because I ran into her yesterday, in fact, at a restaurant right here next to our shop. And I got to visit with her. That was really super cool. 1, 2, 3. We almost got these strings on here. I'm not setting any world records, but Boy, they look nice. That's so tidy. All right. Let's check our tuning. We're going to start basically from the beginning. Okay, so she's tuned up. Let's see how good my preemptive strike was on the neck relief. I'll let you guys all take a look at how I do this. Oh man. That's looking really nice. It's a little bit lower than 11 thousandths, but I think that made a major difference. And we'll check our string action here, and look at that. It's already down to 5/64ths, and we're at about 4/64ths on the treble side of the strings. We're going to let that kind of settle in a little bit. I'm going to go ahead and stretch the strings and play it, see how she holds up. And again, when you're stretching your strings, do not mess around. Stretch them. Give your fingers a good workout. It's the plumber in me coming out, turning pipe wrenches for years. No need to sit and play a guitar going out of tune for hours on end if you haven't done this. Again, a lighter gauge string than was on it, and just doing that, our string action is looking a lot more appropriate. The owner really wanted this guitar to be a little bit more easily playable. She felt like she was having to work really hard to fret chords even down here in the money pit down here where the money happens. So alright, get some stretch out of this one. And see how much time I'm spending on this. Time well spent. I'm not going to have to sit here and tune this guitar over and over and over again once it's in pitch. Of course, on these lighter strings you want to be a little more gentle, but not too. You still want to stretch them to the breaking point. Alright, let's give this thing a little stretch and see how she's holding up. So at this point, I know that I have fixed a couple of problems that this guitar had. Number one, the wiring, and number two, the old strings, and number three, the string action. Man, this thing already feels immensely better. This thing is feeling really
real good.
nice.
Sounds real good, sir.
What's that?
Sounds real good, sir.
Thank you, sir.
You're welcome, sir.
All right, so you know, when I initially did the measurements, I was measuring almost 7.5 64ths at the 12th fret on the low E string, and now I'm measuring 5 64ths, which is where, for me, that's a perfect setup on an acoustic guitar. The neck relief is right around 8/1000ths of an inch. Can't get much better than that. And on the treble E string, we're down at just about 3.5 64ths, which is a little bit short, or maybe too close, but let's check for fret buzz. And we'll check for that in the playing position. You don't want to do that with the guitar laying down, because now you've got gravity working against you. Nobody plays a guitar sitting like this, so why test anything with it sitting flat, right? So let's check. And at this point, not many people play up there unless you're me. Intonation sounds really nice on this instrument too. We're not going to do anything about that. All these chords are really nicely in tune.
Yeah, that's cool. That's rad, though. I got it fixed, but that thing always sort of comes apart when I pull it apart, so I'm gluing it back together.
Chris?
What was wrong with it?
What would work? I mean, you got the spray and everything working.
Yeah. Cool. Yeah, the ground was just dead.
Is that what smoke?
It must have been. I don't know. You got a lot of wires back there.
You put them in.
I think I added to that. I don't think I.
You know what?
Yeah, I don't think I.
So are you ready, sir?
No, it'll take me a few minutes. I gotta glue that thing back together. I think I put that in on top of stuff that was already in there.
Probably so.
Yeah.
Did you tuck things and everything?
No, I haven't touched the back. I just got the deck working.
Oh, you got the deck working?
Yeah.
Just subwoofer
Sure. Yeah,
Yvonne, you wanna watch it?
I have that state police thing out there, so I can't have people just hanging out.
That's all, I understand.
But you can come see this.
Thank you. Sweetheart, watch this.
Well, what do you think? Did I get her? Let's see. My knees hurt. Yeah, I hear you. I love playing up in that register. All the acoustics that I own are cutaways, aside from my Guild that has a it's just identical model of this. I like being able to access the upper register of the frets. Yeah, right. Yeah, the guitar's really, really in good shape right now. So I'm gonna check the electronics in this. Let's plug her in. And make sure that the electronics are healthy. I don't know if a battery is in this. We'll find out here in just a moment. It does have a preamp in it, so we've got to make sure that that's all good. We'll turn the volume down, I think, all the way. Okay, so volume and tone. And it does sound like the electronics are working just fine. We'll put some beautiful delay on it. Maybe do a little bit of a loop just to kind of play along with the guitar. Oh yeah. How's the ball look? I got to talk to my camera guy. Let's bring that back just a little. All right. Hoping you can see this all right. This pickup is really hot in this guitar. It really feels nice.
Something you know.
You want to play?
Whose work is this?
That's Leah's guitar. Just an A blues.
When I'm not using that little Mustang thing, I'll bring it in for you to play through.
Oh, I'd love to check that thing out, Terry.
Dude, it's scary good.
Yeah.
When you're doing small in your living room kind of size venues, or in my case, like I do a lot of senior gigs, you know, they wouldn't know if I had a $2,000 1965 deluxe amp or not. This thing sounds A and B.
And
it sounds that much bigger. It's the size of a wireless plug-in.
And it's got amp.
USB out. It's 12 amps. It's got deluxes from 65, 68, twins from 65 and 68. It's got some orange amps. It's got a British amp. It's got the Bassman, the 15 they have out now.
Mm-hmm.
And then it has an acoustic setup.
Oh.
So you can do all of it. And it's a direct USB out.
So you plug your guitar output jack into it?
No, you plug it into this.
Oh.
And then you take either
USB or
either an 1/8" cord to whatever, or the USB into your DAW. Just record it direct.
Oh man.
And it is just.
That's the Mustang, right?
It's the Mustang. $100.
Yeah.
And I
and you have to take that to the gig instead of that.
All that. I just take that and a powered speaker with me, and that's it.
Yeah.
Or you can just plug it into the PA and call it good.
Yeah. That's cool.
The worst thing about it is that the instructions on which ones are which sounds is on a card about this big, and the light color, because it's a different colored light, tells you which patch you're on. So when you change them, pink and purple look almost the same.
Oh, so it's got like color-coded patches that you can use to.
Yep, color-coded patches for every amp, and color-coded patches for the effects. So you can have reverb, and delay. You could have like a Vibrolux amp set with a tremolo on it.
You can choose specific effects
for that, and you can increase or delay and increase them on. If you want to adjust them on your phone, you just do the app on the phone, Bluetooth it to that thing, and then you can adjust it from there. $100.
You sent me a link to that thing.
I did.
I'll have to relook at that.
Look at it
I was really busy when you sent me that, but I was like,
go online and look at some of the other YouTube ones. There's about 5 or 6 of them out there that are pretty good.
All right.
See you later, Mark.
Thanks, Terry.
Yeah.
That was Terry Lamont. He's a local player here and a client of mine, and he's a great guitar player. He seemed to think this thing was okay. Yeah. I got a cheat code. A minor always rules. There's my cheat code. A minor is always a fun key to play in. For me, A minor 7 is my favorite chord all time. All right, so I'm going to let this one hang out for a little bit and let it kind of settle after doing the truss rod adjustment, new strings. Let's see. I do want to check the battery on that. It seemed like the output was a little bit gritty, I guess. So I want to check the voltage on this 9-volt battery to make sure that's healthy. I do have an extra 9-volt here. Let's measure it. We'll see what we got. Let me get this out of here. They have a nice battery compartment on these Martins. Pretty cool. If the battery will come out of there. There we go. It's a Duracell Pro Cell. Cool. These are good batteries. I do recommend using Duracell or Energizers in your instruments if you got a battery that's needed. I'm just going to check the voltage. All right. See what kind of output. It seemed like it was a little bit, yeah, just a little bit not super clean. Let's see what this battery tells us. 4.7 volts. Let me check this. I take that back. 7.4 volts is what it is. So it's not a 9-volt anymore. So at that level, a guitar or a foot pedal would generally work, but below about 7 volts, you're starting to get some really nastiness coming from the battery just because the voltage isn't good enough. So we're going to put that one in. Oops, before I do that, here's another little trick of the trade. If you swap out 9-volt batteries, when you take this cover off of the new battery, put it on the old battery before you throw it in your garbage can. That will help your home from getting burned down, because if you throw this in the garbage can and there's a piece of tinfoil or something in there, it will heat that up and it will cause a fire in your house. So there you go. Oh, let's check the voltage on this new battery. We'll see what we got here. Alright. Brand new battery. 9.6 volts. 9.6. That's a bit more like it. And we'll double check the sound of the guitar now. Plug her back in because I can, and it's so much fun. Alright. Fire up the amp. Not getting any squealing feedback or anything. We'll see how this thing feels with a fresh 9 volt. Get you pointed down here where. Oh yeah. You hear a difference in that? Night and day. The response of the guitar is twice what it was. It felt fine, played fine, it sounded okay, but there was just a little bit of grit going on that I wasn't really happy with. So check your 9 volts if you start hearing a little bit of funkiness in your acoustic guitar or bass. That takes a 9 volt battery. That can always solve some problems. Alright. C major, you play piano, don't you? It's all the white keys, right? Alright, so this one I'm feeling is pretty close to being done, but I'm going to do my final step in the process here, which is cutting the strings off. Last thing I do. If you ever have to pull strings off a guitar and you've already cut these off, you regret it. And I think the Martin DRS1 is about done. Let's see. 464, so 0.68%, 12th fret. That seems crazy low. You're not rattling the fretboard. Well, that's a great question. So the question was, Gretsch calls for 4/64 at the 12th fret. For strings at the 12th fret. I believe that they mean 4/64 to answer your question. The way that the strings don't rattle against the frets is that there is neck relief, meaning the neck of the guitar is not perfectly flat. I'm pretty sure that you're aware of this. I have to assume that, but I'll just talk as if you don't know. The neck has an underbow to it. And on this one, I have set that underbow to about 8/1000ths of an inch, and being that precise. 8/1000ths of an inch is 2 human hairs. A human hair is 4/1000ths of an inch thick. So that little bit of dip in the fingerboard allows that string, it doesn't go up and down when it's strummed. It rotates in a circle. And so that circle, if that relief isn't there, those strings will hit those frets, and that is how a person could get away with putting 4/64ths. Now, to also further that proof, this treble E string, I'm going to try and get you a good look at it. You look me in my eyes, right? That's 3/64ths of an inch, 3.5 64ths of an inch, and 0 fret buzz anywhere on this neck. So a lot of that depends on the construction of the guitar, how level the frets are. There's also that issue that can come up, which will cause fret buzz, or a fret will pop up out of the fingerboard on the edge, which happens. They don't all, it's not a perfect world. So that's what that's all about. Does that help understand that a little bit? I hope. I set this one at about 5. I'm going to measure them one more time because things change. It's a piece of wood, and I've just made it go someplace it didn't want to go, and it will fight back. So put a piece of wood out on your front porch and let it sit for a year and see what shape it's in after a year. There you go. Yes, sir. Yes, absolutely.
Thank you kindly, sir.
That switch is right behind that ladder. So we are measuring, this is measuring about 5.5, so I'll get you pointed down here at the action. It's about 5.5 64ths. 5.5 64ths on the bass E string, and we are at definitely at 3.5 at the 12th fret on the treble E string. And again, I'll double check the neck relief, because again, we've moved a piece of wood and it does like to fight back, or bite back, whatever you want to call it, after we do all that very delicate work on an instrument, turning the truss rod and all that. Capo. Now we'll measure, and this is a feeler gauge. It's not supposed to, it's just supposed to feel. It's not supposed to move stuff. It's supposed to feel that. This happens to be 11 thousandths of an inch thick. This one, actually, I take that back. This is my 12 thousandths. So fret the guitar where it meets the body. This portion of the neck will not move with the truss rod. From the body forward, you're not moving that. There's a big old block in here. Go ahead and try and bend that, I dare you. And we'll check it one more time. And again, this is a 12 thousandths feeler gauge, and I am moving that string ever so slightly, and I'm okay with that. That's where part of the mojo of setting up guitars maybe comes into play, where certain guys do really, really killer work, and other guys it's always a little bit high or low or whatever. And I've got 0 fret buzz on any of the strings at this point, so I'm confident that everything I've done here has been a major improvement on this guitar. Yeah, okay. Yeah. Oh, Oregon Coast. All right, brother. I hope you're still in Oregon. My brother from Oregon, the greatest state in the union. I take that back. It's not true. We are one of the best, though. Our weather here is the best. We have all 4 seasons, right? Yeah, okay. I don't measure in millimeters. I could. I could, but I don't. I've been measuring in the standard measurements or imperial measurements for my whole life, so I know where what that looks like. And forgive me for those of you in the metric world. It's a great way to measure, and I do measure certain things with metric wrenches and things like that, or metric devices, but typically imperial. Okay, I have 1 mil picks. Perfect. And a 1 mil pick is a great way to check the string action on a mandolin. I'll leave it at that. I'm going to share all my secrets. Yep. Oh, Washington. Okay. Cool. Yeah, I'm a Portland boy. I now live in LeGrand, Oregon. I've been here for 22 years. It's my home. Cool, cool. I hope everybody else is doing all right, and I really appreciate your question. My knees hurt. It's very cool to hear from you. I'm going to hang this bad, we'll call it a bad boy for now, but I usually call him her. I'm going to hang her up for a little while. And, oh, I want to check one more thing on this before I do that. Let me get my fancy schmancy screwdriver, wherever that might be. Where are you? Is that you? There you are. I want to check the hardware on these machine heads and make sure these screws are all tight.
You're in the alley right here.
Thank you, sir.
My pleasure. Thank you, sir.
You betcha.
Good to see you.
You too. You guys keep out of trouble.
Yes,
Oh,
sir.
there were chairs.
That's okay. I don't mind sitting on a
All
cardboard
right.
box.
Sitting on the drum set.
Yeah.
Alright, thank
Good
you
to see
guys.
you, sir.
Yeah, it's great to see you
We'll
again,
see you
man.
again, man.
Take it easy, have fun.
Maybe we'll play together. Who knows?
Hey, we can do it. Oh, and one more thing. I did this for her yesterday. Is that the strap button was missing off the back end of this guitar. Have no idea, or it wasn't missing, it just wasn't in it. And it was white with a black dot on the end of it. And I don't have a clue as to why that part would have been missing from the guitar, aside from it definitely got pulled out of here. So I did this yesterday while she was here, just to kind of get that going for her, because she's going to be standing and playing with this instrument. You know, I prefer on guitars, especially once the pin has come out, to put a mechanical strap button on here. On this one, I really felt like that would have been intrusive, not to mention this being a plywood back or side on this guitar. I didn't feel like that was a necessary move, not to mention this new strap button is, I challenge somebody to get it out of here. The next guy that has to work on this guitar is going to hate me for that if he has to pull that out, but so be it, as long as it doesn't fall out while she's playing the guitar live. So let's go hang this one up back in my storage locker here. Seems to be in really good shape. Feeling really good about how that one turned out. It's really nice. Here's the saxophone. I believe that I need to get fixed. I need to contact Deerfoot, and I will do that in a few moments. Let's see. Yeah, I probably talk too much. All right. So we've got a we've got a telly. All right. I'm going to remove the strap off of this guitar. So, the note that I have on this Telecaster is bridge pickup doesn't work. Lots of feedback. Okay, so here she is. Look at that. Squire. This is a Squire Telly by Fender. Got the old patent pending number in there. We'll give it a good look over, just kind of give it an inspection, see if I see anything out of the norm or unusual. Checking the output jack. Pots feel pretty good. I can adjust the height of these knobs maybe a little bit to get them balanced, but we'll do that if I have to. Bridge pickup. Let me get this information out of there. Alright, so the bridge pickup. Well, so this thing does have strap lock items on it, but it doesn't have strap locks on the strap, so we'll take a look at that. I can see that this pickup is imbalanced a lot. Let me measure the height. We'll take a look here at the pickup height. I want 3/30 seconds. That is a little bit close on the treble side, and I want 4/30 seconds on the bass side, and they're pretty darn close. The neck pickup is way too close to the strings, so I think we can adjust that by pulling the pick guard on this thing. Let's see. Let's plug her in and see if I get some feedback. What do you say? Let's check our tuning real quick. Alright, now we're in tune. It's tuned to drop D. Let's fire up the amp. It's a neck pickup. Got an issue with the pickup selector switch. Just doing a real quick inspection here. I'm gonna make a note of that. Selector switch. Okay. Just kind of giving it a good once over here. We'll check the string action. Boy, the string alignment's terrible on this. Take a look down this. Take a look down this fingerboard, and you can see. I'm trying to get the camera lined up, and I can see a little better looking at it. I believe like this. We're about a 1/16 of an inch from the edge of the fret there, and we're definitely twice that here. So the neck has a tilt in that direction, and it's the same on this side where we're way over here and then we're closer to the fingerboard. So we might want to do a little adjustment to the neck on this one, the angle of that neck. Where'd my writing utensil go? Neck angle. And I'll contact him and see if he wants me to put new strings on this. He didn't specifically ask for that, but that's generally what I'll do. So we definitely have a problem with the pickup selector switch. Something going on there. Yeah, it's definitely focusing on this bridge pickup. Make sure. Yeah. So the switch is working properly, but it's got some noise. So we'll fix that. Cool guitar. I love this black look. Yes, I said it. This is really beautiful. I love the black pickguard on that. Look at that telly. Isn't that beautiful? Looks like it uses D'Addario strings. And these are Fender Japan, so very cool. This could be a, I don't know what year this would have been made. I'll have to look that up. A couple of dings in the finish. Not too bad on the buckle rash on the back of this thing. The neck appears to be in pretty good shape. Yeah. Now, truss rod adjustment down here. Let's check the neck relief. On fenders, I generally like to stick to my 12 thousandths rule on neck relief. We'll see where this one's at. My tools. Oh boy, it's double, easily double what it should be. So I'll contact the owner and talk with him about these alternate or other options. He didn't ask me to set up his guitar. He asked me to take a look at the pickup in this one, which is a specific request. But I'm seeing other stuff that I think could be addressed to make the guitar more playable. But if this dude loves the way it's set up, I don't need to mess with that. Some people just love what they've got, and that's fine. All right, I'm going off of measurements. I have never played this guitar. This is the one that this next guitar is the one I'm really looking forward to seeing. This is from my childhood, this is one of the, oh boy, these are just some of the coolest guitars ever. I love the shape of them. If you all know who Paul Gilbert is, he has a version of this guitar that's opposite of this one. So. And another thing about these is that when I get them on my bench, they're shaped so strangely that they're kind of hard to fit in some cases. So hang on just a second. We'll open her up and I'll point you in there. Oh, I got to be careful about Sheryl Crow. My goodness. I don't want to get in trouble. Here we go. Woohoo! Look at that. Oh, there she is. There she is. Wow. Look at that. The good old Ibanez Iceman. I love these bridges. They're really awesome. I wrote down it's an input jack problem, but I've never had a guitar never known a guitar to have an input jack. I think Jennifer Batten, Michael Jackson's guitarist for quite a long time, has an input jack on her guitar, so there's signal going in, but these are output jacks. Correct me if I'm wrong. Says there's an issue with the output jack. Input jack. Let's take a look. Get you over here. We'll see what's going on with this thing. Let me get my cameraman working for me here. He's a pretty cool dude. I'll get some more light. Let's take a look inside here. See what we got. I haven't even tested it yet, but we'll plug it in and see what we get. Hoping I find a broken wire in here, something. That would be the easy button. We'll see what we've got here. Well, let's take a look. Let's take a listen. So I've definitely got signal. and I've got signal from the guitar. I'm just wiggling this to see if I can make it do anything. I'm not seeing anything in here that looks odd. Get my light here. Nice big old drop of solder, but it's not making contact with anything odd in there. Oh, yeah. There it is. So what's happened here, I'm going to go ahead and repair this right now. Let my soldering gun warm up. What's happened here is that the lead wire from the pickup got melted, and yeah, there's a I don't know if I'm going to let you guys be able to see this, but I'm going to go ahead and get this repaired. Let me get my solder sucker. Let's see, we're on, fired up. Let's see, I want to get my... I'm just going to go ahead and fix this right now and get that problem solved. Hey Charlie, hello. I hope you're doing well, brother. I hope you had a good holiday. I hope everybody did. I had a great day of work. It was fun. I don't know if in the US I haven't really paid a lot of attention, given I work at a small business. Vacation and stuff is just what we have to schedule and do, but hoping if you have a job where you would get a holiday, that you had a great, enjoyable day off of work. I have fun coming into work on the Halloween holidays, simply because we get so many wonderful young people in here. And I had yesterday I had a young lady. I'm letting my soldering gun warm up right at the moment, so I'll just kind of BS with you a little bit. Young lady, she was 4 years old, and I met her for the first time. She was just a newborn little one. And she came in, and she had this beautiful princess dress on. It was blue, and she just looked adorable. And she came up to me. She's right here at my bench. She was standing right behind where the camera's sitting. And she walked around, and she just grabbed my leg and gave me the biggest hug. And she was getting ready to leave, and then Mom and I got talking again, and then it was time to leave again. So she came back over and gave me another great big hug, and she gave me a Jolly Rancher lollipop. And I ate it like a boss last night. A very fun moment for me. She was adorable. You should have been here. Alright, let's see if my gun's gotten hot enough here to melt this solder. Oh yeah, let's unplug it. We don't need to listen to that. Alright, I'm turning the amp off so I don't have to listen to that buzz. So I've got my, let's get you down here in the work here. Hopefully you can see that okay. It's hard to do soldering work and keep my hands out of the movie, but so where are we at? There we go. Try and get you in here close. So here's the output jack. I'm gonna use my solder sucker to remove the solder that's all over this. I need to tin my soldering gun here, Kind of getting ahead of myself here. Woohoo! Smoky smoke. All right. Now. Now we're talking. Alright, and the problem that this output jack was having was that right there. It's a very, very common happenstance with guitars, especially if the jack gets loose, but the lead wire has a short in it, and that was bent right over the ground connection and making contact there and shorting it out. So we don't have a whole lot of wire to mess with here. Just give it a little bit of a tug there so I can have a little extra. And we're gonna go ahead, and I do not like cutting wire off, but we're gonna do it. In fact, before I do that, yeah, we're gonna go ahead and just start with some fresh wire. I'm gonna cut it where that break in the wire was, so that I've got as much wire as I can work with here. And now we'll trim this. I'm gonna be very careful not to cut through, which it appears that's probably what happened. This defect in this may have happened when the guitar was built. When you're stripping these double layered wires with a ground and a lead in them, or shielded wire, you got to be really careful not to cut through the shielding on this hot wire. It's easy to do, believe me. So these little teeny wires, let me get you here, hopefully you can see what I'm up to here. I've been talking with my cameraman. I gotta get him to quit drinking, and we'll get him one of these days. So got that nice and stripped and ready to go. Gonna tin this. There we go. And I'm gonna go ahead and tin this ground wire, or the shielding wire. Okay. Now let's get that in there. I'm hoping you can see what I'm up to here. I know my hands are probably in the way. Very good, solid contact there. Now what I will do with this is get my little handy dandy dinky needle nose pliers. I'm going to push that wire away, and this, I'm going to check this. I'm going to try and see if there's a hole that this wire can go through. And I'm using a solder sucker here in this case, and there isn't. So what I will do is make a good mechanical joint. So I'm going to bend this like so. Now it takes a very steady hand. Not going to take much. Not much here. Boom. And now we have a good solid contact here. We have a good solid contact here. And if we plug the guitar back in, turn it on, wiggle this, wiggle this. I wonder if we have a ground issue in this. Well, okay. I'm seeing some weirdness going on here. Oh no, that's normal. This pot is very loose, so we'll tighten that up. I wonder if we have a bad ground. Well, I'm gonna have to do some deeper digging. This one's gonna take a little bit more work. Got to decipher what's going on with that. There could actually be a problem in this jack. They've got this ground soldered to this. You're watching me think. Preston, welcome, brother. You get that interface working yet? Preston got himself a new audio interface that Jeff and Francis gifted to him, and what a wonderful gift that was. I hope that that is a big help to his streaming stuff. His Wednesday night jams have been super fun. So I'm just going to go ahead and take care of this while I've got it in this state, and then I got to get on to another instrument before I actually fix this one. But I've got a good again, preemptive strike on this guitar. We'll I don't believe Ibanez. Yeah, they did. Look at that. Even copper. Okay. How did that get loose? Interesting. I'm going to use a new lock washer on that. Get rid of this one. And now you probably can't see what I'm doing here. Again, I got to talk to my camera guy. I will use my little handy dandy crescent wrench driver because it just does a great job on this kind of stuff. And the knob is now tight, which is what we want. And we'll get you down here. And this knob came off really easy, so I'm turning it all the way so that it's off. Then I can align the knob so that the 0 is pointed at the guitar player. We'll take a look at the rest of these. That one's pointed. These are all kind of pointed that direction, so we'll align this with the rest of them. That way the guy doesn't have to make an adjustment. There we go. Wow, that popped right on there. Nice. Nice and solid. I love it. Simple stuff like that. When you're doing string changes and things like that, just check for that kind of shit. You can save yourself a bunch of agony. It's easy. Yeah, trimmer. Hey. Yeah. That's a good one, trimmer. I did belong to the plumbing union for a brief minute. Made a lot of money. Didn't have to work very hard. It's kind of funny how that worked. Union's a great thing. I'd love to be a member of a union and get all that support. So this Iceman is I don't know what era this is. Let's see, this is a Korean-made Iceman, and it definitely has some issues with the electronics that I'm gonna have to address. I believe that there's a ground issue going on with this. And take a look down in here. There's a piece of copper that used to run down to this volume control. I'm not 100% certain. It might have been due to this, but we'll have to check and make sure the grounds are all going where they're supposed to go, and we'll do that on another day when this one's turn arrives. And that is about it for today. So we got a Martin guitar all fixed up, and new strings, better string action, better neck relief, better end pin. What else did we do on that one? Oh, and we cleaned the fingerboard, really. Cleaned the fingerboard up nicely today. I'm hoping that you all who are watching maybe have learned something today, whether it be about soldering or setting your neck relief or other items. I do these broadcasts hopefully for educational purposes and hopefully a little bit of entertainment, humor. I'm not very funny. So, Preston, question for you. Have you gotten your, I can imagine how busy you are. Have you gotten your audio interface hooked up and running? I would assume you've plugged it in and gotten some signal through it and such, but I'm wondering what the progress is. And if we might have a little, change in the broadcast for tomorrow night. Hey, Justin. Justin's not here. He and I were up really late last night. He was up an hour later than me. You guys are awesome. Oh, Richard, that was classic. Yeah. Got it hooked up and running. Okay. Okay, so you're running it out to your mixer. Okay, that's cool. That's a great way to go about it. Yeah. Yeah, I wondered how that might have gone for you, bro. That's always a fun thing when you get a new piece of gear for the studio. You know you're going to have to rewire stuff, so you end up cleaning up a lot of messy wiring. Ask Justin about that. Mixer acts as a powered speaker. So, yeah, I'd be interested to know what kind of mixer you're talking about. That's interesting. Mixer acts as a powered speaker. You could just run that thing. Huh? You could just run that thing into a stereo in your house. Of course, you know that, though. So are you feeling like that the audio interface is giving you a bit more control of your microphone settings and guitar volumes and things. Yeah. Oh, okay. Perfect. Yeah. Okay, so you're using your home stereo for your monitoring system at home, which is a lot of guys do that. Oh, okay. Yeah, I can see that. And your mixer has a USB audio converter, analog to digital converter, and that you were running before, and you know. Yeah, that would be my question, because at that point, what you can do is install Reaper on your computer, and Reaper is then your mixer, and you can put effects and such on your voice and noise dampening, and you can gain it up. You can do all that inside the box and send that straight out to your home speakers via RCA connection. But I realize sometimes the mixer might allow you to plug other instruments into it if you have people over. I get that. Yeah. Yeah, it's interesting when you start talking about studio setups like that. All of the options. Mark and I were discussing last night about routing for doing live streams, and man, it's just a mind fuck. So you have audio. How is the audio getting from the mixer into your live stream? You're still using the USB port on that to send audio to StreamYard or YouTube? And this is very interesting to me to try and understand how other people are routing their audio to do live streams. Preston's live streams have been just fantastic. Again, getting some really great turnouts. If you're not there tomorrow night, I believe it is 6 or 7 p.m. my time. Oh, and I just discovered that this strap button is loose. Let's fix that. Now it's not loose anymore. Yeah, it's 7 p.m. Western time, so you us Oregon boys get going at 7. Yeah. Yeah. Mixer. Oh, okay. Okay. Yeah. I'm not sure where your sources are coming from for your backing music, but that's fine. I get it. It's interesting to talk with folks about how again how they route their stuff, because I'm working with guys like Justin who have massive routing situations. They're mixing in surround sound, so they've got to have 7 or 9 channels of audio going out to individual speakers, and I'm running in this, and then I'm using my computer sound card for running my surround sound, and then I use the Focusrite for this type of situation, and I got my mic routed to here. Whew, it's daunting. Sources are on from the PC, YouTube. Yeah. Yeah. Cool. Well, I think I'm going to shut things down for the day. I've got other work to get to, and I'm not going to share everything I do. I've got to get some work done. Thanks you all for hanging. Again, happy holidays. Hope everybody had a happy Halloween. Hopefully you're having a great day after. And the next one is what? Thanksgiving? Thanksgiving? Or was it Valentine's Day? Wait, no, it's St. Patrick's Day. No. Christmas. One of those. Yeah, 4th of July. What's happening? I don't know. Peace, y'all.